Chill or chat? That is the question. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and a different episode of a different show, Chill and Chat. That's what the name of the show is tonight. It's Chill or Chat, Chill and Chat. We're going to decide tonight, is it better to chill or chat? I think you have to make a decision. I don't think we can sit on this fence waffling back and forth, pretending we can both chill and chat. I don't think they're compatible. I don't think they can live within the same space. And I think all these other YouTubers that are claiming that you can both chill and chat, they're just being dishonest. I think they're lying to you. I think it's wrong. And I think that you deserve better. What's going on, everybody? Last minute, late night, early morning, depending on where you are, live stream. I wanted to give you a little bit of something that's on my mind, something I've been thinking about a lot. And it really is more than just brand against brand, more than just against, company against company and which one's better and my team versus your team, and the tribalism thereof. I think it's more about a delivery mechanism, an arcade ROM delivery mechanism. That's what we're really talking about. A different way to get the games that we want, a different, not necessarily a different form factor, but just a different way to get our hands on what we crave, that, shot of nostalgia in the arm. Which one is it? So we're going to talk about Arcade1up versus iiRcade, a different way to kind of look at things. So let's first go over to the chat and acknowledge the fact that I got a poll in the chat, like we always do on the next week's shows. We're gonna do the same thing here, and it is a very simple question: which home arcade company do you prefer? Which one do you prefer, Arcade1up or iiRcade? And we're gonna kind of get into it a little bit tonight, and it's also a time to kind of ask whatever question you want, whatever's going on, what's on your mind, and I'll answer it. Simple, right? Easy rules to follow. How's your week going? So I've been working over in the arcade, specifically the console room that is attached to my arcade. It's a different space. It's something that's been really lacking. I've been given all the arcade love over here on one side, and over here in the console room, it's just been kind of stacks of boxes, stacks of games, consoles, TVs that ain't even plugged in. There's no place to put some of these CRTs, and I thought it was a damn shame. I thought it was time to acknowledge that and do something about it. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I've been working on this week. I wanted to have it wrapped up today. Unfortunately, I got to a point where I was like, you know what? I just can't. I can't call it a day. I can't sign off on this just yet. I want to get something else done and in place before I give you a tour. And that's kind of what we're going to do. We're going to do tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe by Friday. I'd like to have a tour set up to where I can actually show you, hey, this is what I got going on the arcade side, kind of get you caught up on that. And then also what's going on the console side. I'm doing something that's kind of cool. I don't know that it's unique or super different than anything else you've seen, but it's something that I'm into, and it allows my consoles to kind of get their own little area, a specific, focus on the consoles that I enjoy playing the most. Maybe they're not the best consoles out there ever, but they're the consoles from my childhood that I enjoyed the most. And that's what I'm going to give you as best I can. So no bourbon tonight. I got to work tomorrow. It's in the middle of the week. No bourbon tonight. I did have a mixed drink earlier, but not now. I need to kind of focus and hopefully give some of your questions some serious attention, because I think it deserves it. Definitely. Speaking of which, Tony C says, hey, bourbon in the middle of the week? Horrors. Dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. A wonderful, wonderful movie reference from a great movie. Once again, endangered dog. The dog remains in danger. I'm going to have to call animal control. Somebody's got to step in. Somebody's got to intervene. This dog should not remain in danger. Arcade1up for life. There we go. We got a lifer. We got a lifer for sure. My brother, Snow Dubs, over on the Snow Dubs live channel. What's going on, man? Smash the like button. It's a good idea. When you get good advice, it's best to take it. Absolutely. Smash it. SJ Miola. I hope I didn't butcher that name. I can't wait for Dragon's Lair 1UP cab to get here. Talk about a cab. It's been a long time coming, right? I know you're excited, especially, if you've, I hope you got your pre-order locked down, ready to go. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're going to get what you've been waiting for, man. The No Joke Podcast. What's going on, guys? Hey, 19K, how the hell are you? Guys, look at this guy. Mike of all trades, Moat. I was about to go to bed, sir. I apologize. You can go to bed whenever you want to. I know it's been a long day for you, sir. Benzo H, my brother, how the hell are you? What's up? Lots going on. I'm still up. So I thought I'd chat with you. Console Kiss, my buddy. How you? Yo, buddy. Thank you for the midweek show. How are you doing over there on the West Coast? I'm assuming you're still over there, and on that side. I hope you're used to being in the middle, right? That state you live in is kind of in the middle, and you're on this side now. I hope you're doing okay over there. You probably got you've actually got the time advantage, don't you? That's awesome. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Miss Jamie G, how are you? There's pros and cons for both cabs. I agree. That's kind of what I want to get a little bit into tonight. As long as everybody kind of wants to stay on that topic, we can veer off. We can do whatever we want to do. There's no right or wrong answer tonight, but I think you're right. I think there's a lot there that we can kind of delve into as far as, like I said, it's not just this company versus that company. We're talking about a different delivery method when it comes to the arcade ROMs that we know and love. There's always the high seas of piracy, but we're talking about legit, right? Legit ways we can get our hands on them. And my brother, look at this guy coming in with the super chat for $4.99. Ezekiel, the Chicago Richard Ranger, says, "What a surprise, Fox! I thank you. Always happy to be here with you, and thank you for stopping by. Always great to have you, and always great to have a super chat from my good friend. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, buddy. And you know which one you're gonna get? I think it's gonna be this one right here."
Can't you do any better?
Clean like a mother. Yeah. To die for. How the hell are you, sir? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by. To die for. Hi, everyone. So what's good, Bobby? Exactly. What is going on? How you doing? Cool, DBZ. Glad. Well, come on now. Of course. Expect nothing less. Just Coke. No, and he said to die for that I'm in bed. The man is in bed. LOL, same. All right, gentlemen, relax. Sit back and relax and allow your mind to ponder life's great questions, such as Arcade1up versus iiRcade. Ponder these questions, gentlemen. Here we are. Michael B. the Game Genie. How the hell are you? Well played for life. Absolutely. See Marvel 360. How the hell are you? At your average gamer, at Mike of all trades. I was just watching your guys in replay, watching this on my. It's great that I can come to you in all these different ways that may seem inappropriate, but it's okay. We're all friends. UAG, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Bobby, you getting old? We're all getting old. I don't know if you've been paying attention. We're all fragile. For sure. Scrolling down, my brother, Demajani, how the hell are you? How's New York treating you, man? I was on a stream tonight with I was blessed to be in the audience of the Dark Council, talking about some great Star Wars and Marvel news. Had a great time on the show tonight. Absolutely great to see you guys. Really good people. Known these guys for years at this point. So it was awesome. Justin Howard, hello, Ski. Is that Russian for hello? We'll go with that. Indeed. Peter McNabb, surprisingly hyped for my iiRcade Space Invaders Gold. If you haven't been paying attention to the channel, and I hope that you have been, I also, for the first time in getting on board with iiRcade Gold Edition, with some of these new things that they've announced, and I talked about this before, and my reasons why I actually made this jump, decided to make this, take the plunge, was because of the things that I saw them doing. Some of the changes that I saw them making to the physical hardware. It was a big difference. I think there's something to be said about a manufacturer changing the guts of what they do, because that signals something else. The outside is one thing. Aesthetically, they give it some marquee, it's fine. They change the artwork, that's fine. They add a button, okay. But when they change the guts, when they rearrange things inside, that is a signal of different things to come. There's something else going on there, and they were future-proofing themselves, or they were preparing themselves for the future that was. At the time, I thought swappable decks, it appears to be just ports, so far, right? So far. But then you get hackers. Well, maybe not hackers, modders. I think modders probably a better word. Like me and maybe to die for, thinking, you know what? I can make swappable decks. This opens up a world of possibilities. Opens up a world of possibilities for sure. And look at this guy, $2 super chat. Thanks for joining the Dark Council. Thank you for having me on the Dark Council, Damaj, and I really do appreciate it, my brother. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. You know what you're getting. Here you go. So, 19K Fox, after getting hands-on with the iiRcade Gold, has it changed your opinion on the product? Yes. Now, to be fair, Moat, to be fair, I made my pre-order before I made my journey to Chicago. But specifically, I'll say this, and Michael Slavaz S. We're gonna go with S because I'm gonna mispronounce that last name. With iiRcade, he'll vouch for this. As soon as I walked up to the machine, the first thing I did was kind of go back and forth, like, all right, show me that 19-inch glare, right, that washout, because I'm fresh off my golden tee, not liking what I saw. That was not present on the iiRcade. And I was there for I checked out Model 1, I guess I'm gonna, for lack of a better term. Model 1 and then Model 2, the gold edition. And the quality's there. But I had not experienced it. I had been told about it, but I acknowledge, okay, all right, quality's there. Good. My first time playing around with the interface. So a lot of this is still Gen 1 stuff, version 1, that I was kind of experiencing for the first time. I'm liking what I see. It's a little clunky in some areas. It could be refined. Michael acknowledged that as we kind of went back and forth and talked, and he talked about sort of the future and where he saw things going, and I liked what he was saying, but more, I was putting more stock in what I saw them do, right? And that's what I was like, okay, now my brain's thinking they're actually preparing for the things that I want to see. But to your point, I think yes. I think it really does. I think that I'm sort of, and it's funny, Moat, we talk about, I know you've talked about this before on your streams and your shows, potential. A lot of people bought into the potential of version 1. A lot of those Kickstarters talking about that potential still to this day. Some of them hanging their hat on that potential that has not yet been realized. Will they get there? I hope so. I hope so, because I think at the end of the day, it comes down to the software, but the hardware is definitely in place to broaden that experience. So I think, to answer your question directly, yes. If we're talking about a yes or a no, it did. It did. It upped it a little bit. Definitely did. So will they realize this potential? I sure as hell hope so, because I think now, before, I didn't think they were at the place where I was comfortable jumping in at the price point, knowing the games I was getting into. Looking at it now, looking at the expandability, I think that there's options there, and I think I'm really excited of what they actually could do. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm interested. It's a quality product, and but it's like anything else. Can they realize the potential? Can the quality be put to good use? We'll see. We will definitely see. But thank you so much for the question. I appreciate it. Been modding all day. I'm beat, brother. I'm with you. Ain't been modding. I have not been modding, but I've been assembling furniture, which can be sometimes worse to die for. Damn, man. At least if you're modding, you're into it, and your imagination is going, and you're thinking of what you can do, and the creativity is flowing. But I'm just putting stuff together. It's like IKEA style, right? It's cam locks, it's plastic dowels and screws. I'm like, oh. And then I'll go ahead and let you in on a little secret, everybody. If you're watching the replay, I guess the secret's out. I've got 4 TV stands, for lack of a better term, right? And they're going to be set. These are going to be 4 separate consoles, sort of representing 4 generations of gaming. It's probably going to be like 3 generations of gaming. But anyway, one of those TV stands is going to support a 32-inch CRT. That one took a little more. I did have to get creative with that one to die for. I had to actually add a little bit of support, because the other, I got like a 19-inch TV, tube TV, CRT. I got another 19-inch that's got a VCR and DVD player built into it. So they got a little bit of weight to them, but the 32, that's a big that's a tall order. So that I had to get a little creative there. But other than that, I assembled some gaming chairs, actually similar to this one. I love this thing. It's Emerge. It's just pretty comfortable. It's got a lot of extra padding. I like it. I got 3 different colors over there in the game room. So that's going together. But yeah, but other than that, yeah, it was kind of paint by numbers. So you're beat, but you probably had more fun than I did. Probably had more fun than I did for sure. For sure. Scrolling on down here. Means of destruction. How the hell are you, buddy? Hey guys, what's going on? Nothing much, just chilling, talking about the differences between iiRcade and Arcade1up and which one do we like better. Getting into that subject a little bit. Getting into that subject just a little bit. Want to talk about what you want to talk about. Rainwater games, what's going on? Here we go with the monitor stuff. Absolutely. The monitor stuff will never go away because as long as I'm spending the money I'm spending and you're spending the money you're spending on Arcade1up, we will always hold them. Well, at least I hope we're going to hold them accountable because they got to keep that quality up. They got to keep that quality up. And I want you to be aware of everything that you're going to get into, especially if you go and buy one of these new Excel cabinets. So no matter how minute the issue may be, I'm going to highlight it so that you can make your own decisions. If you want to dismiss it and think that it's no big deal, awesome. But if it is a big deal to you, I want you to know about it going in. Some people don't necessarily think that controls are a big issue. Some people do. Monitors, marquees, and all this stuff. So my job is to kind of highlight that for you so that you can make your own decision. Absolutely. 19 Keybox. Has there been any revealed specs of the iiRcade Gold and any comparison numbers compared to Gen 1? All I know is that the board is different. They've combined both into one. Obviously, listen, we know, I think I showed this on my live stream. You're talking about the ports themselves. All they've done to the front of their cabinet is they've given you one of these. It actually has, this has a single USB. What they have is 2. But basically, you're talking about, it's just a USB cable. So there are USB ports on their new board. So there's some physical differences. And Zhang told us it is a different experience. It's going to be a completely different experience. From what did I say? What did he say? Actually, I think I pulled the quote from electrically, it's a different experience, and from the structure, different experience. So I don't think there's a huge bump in graphical capabilities, processing, and all that. I think it's the same components, but it is a different board for sure. So I'll know more once I get a hand on mine, get my hands on my cabinet coming in. I'm not going to leave it boxed up and hidden. We're going to blow it completely apart. I want to show you everything. I don't have an original iiRcade, the Gen 1, the version 1. So you're going to have to take my video, compare it to what you have. Unfortunately, I don't have an original to kind of compare that to. But as far as what have they released officially, nothing that I'm aware of. Nothing I'm aware of. So hope that answers your question. I like the design of the iiRcade cab, but sure of the possibility of the library of games. What's the downloadable games list looking like? I will say what we've all been told is that they've got 100 games that they haven't released yet because they are currently either in development, going through final licensing approval. And I will say that your ports on the front of your machine are going to be there to accommodate many different types of hold on. Many different types of, what do we say, kids? We say peripheral. This word. I gotta let's take the comment off. Peripheral. That peripheral. Yeah. I don't know if I ever could say that word. But yeah, so there's games. I will say this: there are games in the pipeline that are going to take full advantage of these new ways to play, and that is not limited to the trackball. It is not limited to a spinner. This is just between you and me, and the entire internet. But other than that, just you and me. So just keep bear that in mind, and understand that that is some of the hesitation. That's why some of these games are being held back also, is because the infrastructure wasn't there to take full advantage of it, but it's coming. So, do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Let me go ahead and take off my visual aid for the word that I struggle to say. We all have struggles in life. Everybody does. But you know what helps that struggle? You know what eases that pain is friends like this. My brother Fatal J for $5. Blow me up with some combos. He wants some combos. No Dragon Ball Z tonight for Fatal J, my brother. He wants some combos. And I am here to help him out. I am here to scratch that itch. I'm going to give you Weapon X.
Weapon X. Yeah. Perfect. Hyper combo KO. Game's over. Time to call it quits.
The perfect hyper combo KO. Thank you so much for the $5, brother. Really do appreciate it. Thanks again for letting me swing by the channel and disrupt what you got going on there. I like that iiRcade gives my arcade an ability to take on some indie games and newer gaming content. Vaisel, I hope I'm saying that correctly. You are hitting on the larger issue, not the issue, but the larger point. Something that I really wanted to address tonight. It's not just company A versus company B. It's a different way of looking at the home arcade market. It's a different way to deliver games. That's what it all comes down to, right? It is that software, and it's that point of purchase. How do we get the I guess, how do we assess the value of what we just purchased? So when I go and I get an Arcade1up, I'll use a beautiful example of the Star Wars cabinet. It's great. I have 3 games. I play those 3 games. I relive those 3 games in a great way that mimics the arcade experience, the original arcade experience. But that's where that ends. When it comes to iiRcade, you have a console, a home arcade console, verbiage and wording that they've used, so it's not derogatory in any way, that allows the product to kind of have new life. Something that I wasn't, that alone to me wasn't really something that was a selling point because of the lack of what I consider to be titles that interest me, AAA titles. But some of those are changing, right? We've got the Mayhem Brawler. I hope that we're going to get some more new titles, because I think that this is definitely a way that iiRcade can distinguish themselves from the competition. Is that they have a processor, they have a board, they have a system in place that can definitely support a newer game title, a modern game, as well as some of these older machines. What that does for an individual stuck in an apartment somewhere is it allows them to have an arcade in one machine. I mean, literally many different experiences within the same machine. It is that potential that we've heard about. We've sort of been promised, been looking forward to them realizing it, really realizing, but we haven't quite seen it yet. And I thought that the hardware had some physical limitations when it came to realizing that potential. Other than just what game are they going to release and what licensing are they going to, what game can I download next? We had to go beyond that, right? And if you're looking at consoles and this competing in that console space, how do consoles extend their own lives? How do consoles broaden their appeal? And it is with peripherals. I almost said it that time. I'm not even going to bring up the graphic. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep going. It is that way. You look at when you look at consoles like the Nintendo Wii, that was sort of built into the DNA. When you look at consoles like the PlayStation 3, they were add-ons. You had the Move controllers. They tried to, let's try to do this and do that. But there were ports on the machine that can allow developers to develop things, to add some variety to that console. Definitely, without a doubt. You can't question that. And I think that's where iiRcade was lacking, right? You had basically a PlayStation 3, let's say, for lack of a better term, because I'm a PlayStation fanboy. Don't judge me. Well, okay, judge me. You had a PlayStation 3 without any ports, if that makes sense, right? PlayStation 3, it plays PlayStation 3 games, but no ports. So you got your controller and that's it. No options, no expandability, no camera you can add, no move controllers, no USB ports in the front for your Guitar Hero dongles and none of that, right? You can't even just that's what it was. That was it. Now we have something that is expandable, for lack of a better term. It gives you options. It gives you more authentic ways to play. And, it is a step closer to what I envision being the solution to having a room full of iArcades is that single machine, single experience with all the peripherals you have at your disposal. The market's out there. Glenn is going to come through. I have no doubt he's going to come through because if he says he's going to do it, the guy does it and he's got the track record to back it up. So I see that happening, and I see that really being a way to realize what I think was that potential. Now, will they get there with the software? That's always going to be the thing, right? That is always the thing. 27 inches. That's what she said. Moving on. Wayne Rice says, I think I would like to buy the iArcade Space Invader, but my wife probably would not like it. They usually don't. They usually don't. I bought an exhaust tip for my new truck. She wasn't happy. Not so much at the purchase of the exhaust tip for my brand new truck, is the fact that I bought something for my brand new truck. She's like, why are you doing this? She's like, I know this road we're going down. I said, no. And then she said, but you have a room full of arcade games. I said, stop making sense with your truth. And then I just walked out of the room with my fingers in my ears saying, la, 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 la. I don't want to hear. But it's usually what happens, buddy. Michael B says, I had a Sony Vega Trinitron 32-inch a couple years back, close to 400 pounds. It's too much, Mike. It's too much. But we're going to do it anyway. To die for. What's up, 19K Fox? You're a great / top modder out there. No, I am just participating in the modding community. I just want a participation trophy. I'm not in the ranking, brother. You hold that spot. Don't even try to be modest. I don't like it when you do that. You're the man. Charlie Chuck, how the hell are you? What's up, Fox? Just chilling and chatting. Chilling or chatting. We're gonna have to circle back to that. Like the White House. We're gonna circle back. We're gonna come back to that. That's a good TV. Yes, it is. Happy medium. So you want to settle on the or? Not chill, not chat, or. That's where you want to ride? Okay. All right, you fence rider. I see where you're at. It's okay, Justin. That's okay. Decisions are hard. They're tough. Maybe the monitor wasn't the real issue as much as it's how it's layered, its layers out on the cab with the angle it has. Maybe Golden Tee and other 19-inch Arcade1ups just need a redesign. So I think we can kind of put it to bed. Other YouTubers have done the research and determined that these monitors are technically the same. So what's the difference maker? It's going to be, and I think I'm going to agree with, P-Dubs and others. Like I said, they did their homework. They did their job. It's going to be the utilization, it's the optimization of that monitor. What's driving that monitor? It's going to be, you're talking about a PCB that is superior when it comes to iArcade as far as raw horsepower and potential. But you got to put that rubber to the ground, right? You got to put the rubber to the road. So all the horsepower in the world doesn't matter if your tires are flat or bald. Or, if you play Gran Turismo, you can't have dirt tires on a snow track or a wet course. It's not going to work. So I think what we've got there is an optimization of a fairly standard monitor. That's probably going to be the difference maker. Now, angle is incredibly important. As pointed out by other YouTubers also, angle is extremely important, especially when you're talking about a monitor that is sort of prone to some washout. Putting it at the angle straight up is going to be advantageous. Laying it back depends on the degree of the angle, right? So I think that's going to be a difference maker for sure. So no, valid points, C Marvel 360. Valid points indeed. Scrolling down, I need to probably get caught up a little bit. I think I'm a little bit behind. Hey, Charlie Chuck, let's see what you got to say. I played Golden TXL at the Brick today. Was surprised with the monitor. I'm 6'5", so even when I was sitting on the stool, the washout wasn't too bad. $8.99 is a no-go, but I'd buy it on the clearance. True. Yeah, if you're shorter and you're sitting on a stool, which is something you're going to want to do if you're going to play 18 holes of golf, you're going to end up sitting on a stool. If you've got one of those nice Arcade1up, $90 stools, you're going to want to utilize that. And when you sit on that after, for playing, listen, if you're playing bowling, you'll stand up for the whole thing, probably play several, frames or games, and then you'll go on about your day, But if you're going to sit down and try to get a high score on the golf game, get in, those online leaderboards, you're going to crack that top 10. You're going to be sitting there and you're going to be considering every single stroke per hole. And, you're going to want to do that comfortably. And if you're shorter, I think it's going to be an issue. Being 6'5" probably still puts you in the right spot. Especially if, like Michael B, if you have an oddly proportioned, if your torso is so much taller, longer, whatever, than your legs. He's acknowledged he's a freak of nature, but it's okay. It's okay. He's seeking counseling. For sure. I need to scroll up because I believe, look at this guy, my brother, Ryan Kinnell, Arcade Outpost, $5. Got a super star in the chat, folks. This guy, he knows what he's doing. A super sticker, and I'm going to have to go over to the chat and see what the super sticker is because I think it's going to look, keep it up. We will. We absolutely will. Arcade Outpost, Ryan, brother, congratulations on all your success, man. Thank you for stopping by and swinging by my little channel. And this bud is for you. You know what? No, I'm sorry. No, you gave me a super sticker. You're going to have to go to the pit.
Finish him. Molina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
I hated to do it. It had to be done. I'm sorry, Ryan. It had to be done. Super sticker saying keep it up. You got to go to the pit. Sorry. Can't do it. Moving on to Papa Brad's Gaming. What's going on? This is the Let's Pit iiRcade versus Arcade1up stream. 19 Game Box starts with a poll, making you choose a so Papa Brad's Gaming is pretending to be in my head, and he's going to put some kind of stuff on you, right? He's going to get you, he's going to freak you out with all these, or maybe I'm just asking a simple question. How about you do this, Papa Brad's? How about you wait? Listen to what I'm going to say. But let's see what he says. Like them both, your third opinion. Stop segmenting the home arcade community. It's already segmented. The companies are different. They are different, and they provide a different experience. And I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to ignore it. We're going to examine both. And let's see the pros and cons of both because they are differences, buddy. They're differences. And they're already segmented. And I do not have an agenda. I just like to ask questions. And I like conversation. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. P-Dub says yes. What did he say yes to? We may never know. But he's here, and I'm glad he's saying hi. I'm glad he said yes. Hey, Terry B, how the hell are you, buddy? Nice to see you. Add a third option in the poll. I don't want to add a third option in the poll. I think these are the two big contenders, and I think they provide the biggest difference. And I think that's why I like to examine both. I don't want to add a third option. I don't want to add a third option. Some of us already have machines from both companies. Oh well, yeah. And in your opinion, will be not more valuable, but your opinion would be more informed because you have both machines. So definitely want to hear what everybody has to say for sure. Ed Box, have you been working on a possible list of games that you are interested in getting on the iiRcade? Plans for reviews? Any chance you could already gain access to their store site? I can look at their site and I can look at the games, and yeah, I've got some classics that I'm interested in. I played. I mean, it's kind of silly. Well, maybe not silly. I don't know. But games like Tiger Heli, I played as a kid on the NES versions, and I was like, wow, that's on there, really cool. But I like the shoot 'em ups. The shmups are fun. I like some of the Neo Geo knockout, like Breakers. That's not Neo Geo, but it looks like Neo Geo. So I'm interested in that. Obviously, you got, Double Dragon. I definitely want to play that, review that. Not too much to say there. I would actually like to get in some of these deep cuts that they got going on. Some of these weird games maybe that I've never played. And check that out. That's going to be fun for a little while, but I really want to I hope that we have these games these big games coming down the pipe, at least games that are going to take advantage of different ways to play. But yeah, no, I definitely want to get it. I want to put it to its paces, and I would like to especially review some games I haven't played before and give you my opinion on that, and then maybe see if you agree or what you think. And so, but no, I definitely want to do that. So I don't have a complete list pile, but I have some initial games like, oh, I got to get that. Oh, I got to get that. I got to get that. As soon as I get it, I got to get that. So I've got some like that. Mayhem Brawler is going to be one. I want to see the game I played, but I want to see the cropping on the monitor, because I think I made the comment last week or the week before talking about 16:9. Should version 3, machine 3 of iiRcade should it be 16:9 to take advantage of those newer games that, listen, I think that's a bragging right of iiRcade. Hey, we can run the new games. Kind of thumb your nose at Arcade1up. Hey, we can run that. You guys can't run that. But we can. So why not have the 16:9 and then you just crop left and right for your 4x3 games? Just an idea. I mean, I'm not married to it. I know some people are like, nah, I don't want that. I know some people are saying, wait a minute, that's what At Games is doing. I don't want that. I don't want my iiRcade to be At Games. I get that. I think it's a fair statement, but just throwing it out there. What could they do? What could their version 3 be? Because if they go with the 16:9, it's going to widen the cabinet, similar to At Games, give us a little more room on that control deck. Just a thought. Like I said, I'm not married to it either way. But I think I do lean towards a little bit of, what about 16:9? There may be more. It's okay. It's a video game, so you didn't really die. You just respawn. That's what it's at. You're fine. You're fine. We need. Okay, Chris. All right. I'm writing this down. That's actually a really good idea. Animalities. Okay. No more. I mean, we'll keep the pit. The pit is a standard. It's a staple at this point. But animalities is definitely something we need to do. Okay. Animalities. It's on the list. I've got some stuff I need to change. We got to have some new super chats, new super chat videos. I just don't have enough. We got to have some variety. We got to change it up. There he is, the ancient one. Hello, 19K Fox and everyone. Hello. How the hell are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Mayhem Brawlers is fun. I love it. Dead Cells is good too. Oddmar, I just love these games. 16:9. I'm just saying. Think about it. Highlight these games. That way you're cropping left and right for the 4x3s. You're not squishing down that image. That's what I don't like. Because on a 19-inch monitor, when you squish that down, to retain the 16:9 aspect ratio of these newer games, is it going to bother me? I don't know. I'm going to let you know, though. As soon as I know, you'll know. And then guess what? Everybody's going to be in the know. It's going to be awesome. Ronsky, how the hell are you? Facts. Oh, he's about to drop some facts on us. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride. iiRcade has announced their next-gen cabs, peripherals, LOL. Now it's time to stop sitting on these games. I was completely shocked when Micro revealed they were storing on games. Yeah, I mean, I think that was my criticism of their announcement. Glad they announced it, but you're right. Hey, you can now use a trackball. Well, then give me an example of a great game that you're going to announce tonight that requires a trackball, or at the very least is best played with the trackball. Announce some kind of bowling game, any bowling or golf game, some kind of a knockoff. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Golden Tee. It can be whatever. Something that's really going to benefit from the use of a spinner. Heaven forbid we get a shooter, but don't worry. I think shooters are coming. And they maybe haven't wanted to implement those yet because they haven't had the guns. I mean, I ended up playing House of the Dead on my Switch. It was more comfortable just to play it in handheld mode and, use the analog stick. And that was okay, but it just wasn't fun. So I actually have, okay, hold on. I'm going to step out of camera for just a second. I want to show you this. I haven't reviewed it yet. I haven't even tried this yet. Busy working on the console room, but I got one of these little holders, right? For my Switch controllers. So we're going to give this a shot. This is the $20 generic version of a more expensive official Nintendo um, peripheral. Messed it up again. So I think I'm going to give this a shot and see. This can't be worse than using, to breaking your wrist with the House of the Dead. Traditional, the way they want you to play it with the Switch Joy-Cons. So this has got to be better. Has to be. I hope. I'll let you know. I will definitely let you know because it needs it. It absolutely needs it. So we talked about facts. We talked about here we go. Add a Star Wars super chat. I'm always worried because I think I might get copyright claimed, but I need to do something. Actually, I had one. I had I took the Robot Chicken clip from where they have where they have Boba Fett coming back and killing Ewoks, and I got hit for that one. So you got to be really careful with Star Wars. I'll see what I can do though. See what I can do. I don't like the bash bowling games at all. Yeah. I think that at least that would be something, right? That would be something. Hey, B, how the hell are you, buddy? You need PC like guns, Fox. I do. Yes, I do. Wait time for sending is a little bit too long. Oh, well, I guess it's not too long. It's fine. I mean, I could go ahead and order and wait. But there's always that guy on eBay that's got you covered for just about $100 more. This is what I get for waiting. That's what I get for waiting, sitting on the sidelines and not jumping on technology. That's my own damn fault. C-Mobile 360 gun games with the ability to add guns to the platform sounds sick for iArcade. It's gonna happen. Listen, I predicted it. I don't see how they. Why wouldn't you? If you're iArcade and you just added ports and you're talking about different ways you can play. I mean, listen, I already talked about this weeks ago, probably a month ago at this point. Glenn just locked down Sinden. He just locked down Sinden. The two, I mean, come on. It spells it out for you. It's going to happen. I hope, right? It has to. It has to. And when it does, what are we going to get? That's what excites me. The games that maybe Arcade1up don't, because here's the hurdle. And let's go ahead and get into it real quick. We talk about some of these leaks, right? We talk about what's coming from Arcade1up, and here you go. And okay, we got, forget the stupid Couchcades, which it looked like garbage. The collector cades, I'm not wasting my time. Jump over here. We start looking at actual big stuff, Rocky. This is the stuff we're into, right? Everybody wants Mortal Kombat. Yay, that's $500. $500 to play Mortal Kombat, and then the games that come on their legacy cabinet. 14 games total for $500. But you know what you're getting, and that's what you're getting. That's it. We're sitting here waiting for a shooter. We've got 2 shooting cabinets. We have 2. We have Big Buck Hunter and we have T2. That's it. For a total of what? I think there's 4 games on the Buck Hunter cabinet. And then T2 has the 1. So we've got 5 shooting games total from Arcade1up. If Time Crisis comes out, okay, and let's say it's got 4 games on it, there's still not 10 games offered by Arcade1up that are shooters. The point is this: how quick could iArcade catch up to that? You telling me they don't have 10 games out of those 100 that are shooters? I mean, if we're just talking about not quality, numbers. If they come out the gate with 10 shooters, they've already topped Arcade1up. And look at the price point. If you're a shooter fan, right? The same thing could be said about drivers. If you're a shooter fan, look at the price point. Look at the barrier you're going to have to reach just to get into Arcade1up shooters. You could go and you could grab you could probably still find a Buck Hunter for $500. But let's go with T2. You're going to have to wait for that to go on sale and pay $550 for T2 for 1 game. Or you can wait to the end of this year and you can pay that pre-order price of $800 that you're going to pay for an iArcade, and you can get Time Crisis. What's going to be on Time Crisis? I don't know. Just Time Crisis? For $800, I sure hope not. Possible though. And that could be all that you have. Once again, this comes back to the potential. If iiRcade doesn't realize their potential, all this is for nothing. But the potential is there. They could very easily, out the gate, if they came out with 5 games, they would already shooters. They would already tie where Arcade1up is currently. 5. That's all they got to do. Like that, they'd be tied. Now we are gonna go back and forth about quality. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Are these good? Are these bad? Do they suck? Whatever. But still, if you're talking about a bullet point that they can put on a freaking poster or a commercial, an advertisement, hey, Arcade1up gives you 5 options. So do we. But it's not going to cost you whatever it is they say. So once again, the circle always comes back to the potential that they have to realize. Will they realize it? I sure hope so. That would be great. But they still have to come through. So that's that difference we're talking about. It's a different experience. It comes down a lot to the art, right? The artwork, what's being replicated, having a room full of these arcades. And maybe you don't want an entire room. Maybe you want 4 or 5 or 6. It's a lot of money. But if Arcade1up comes out with the 6 that you want, you're in good shape. But if they don't, well, where are you at? You know? Do you get 6 cabinets because you want 6 cabinets to kind of fill up a space, but they're not really. So it's a different model. It's a completely different model. It's a different way to look at it. So when we're talking about which one's better, not really which one's better, because that's not the way I worded the question. The question was, which one do you prefer right now, the way things sit, the delivery method? You know, you could even step back and say, okay, just the way that I get my games given to me, whether it's just, we're very accustomed to the download services. We all have next gen, current, or not next gen, but current gen control consoles, maybe even some previous gen. Maybe we still have, I've got, some older consoles, PlayStation 3, you can still download games to it. We're very comfortable with that process. We're very comfortable with that method, that delivery method, right? Our Arcade1up is a little bit different. So it's a way to step back and say, maybe we're talking about not just the companies themselves, but their business models, their delivery methods. Market saturation is one thing, but if it's saturated with a bunch of crap, countercades, couchcades, I'm looking at you, projectorcade, giant joystick, Arcade1up Junior, that one's okay. It's got its place, but the other ones, no. What does that really count for? I mean, nothing I'm interested in, but I am just one guy. I'm just one guy. And we can't forget about the jukebox feature, right? That's fun. Nooner, what's going on? Steel Gunner was a fun game. Screens need to be their 24-inch from the V-pin if it's a 2-player cab. And that's another limitation of the iiRcade, right? We're talking about maybe some of the negatives. All right, so iiRcade, you're locked into that 19-inch screen. Arcade1up, if they want to, that's still a big if, right? If they want to, they can swing wide. They can go for a more accurate arcade experience. They can give you that in a single cab, a purpose-built cab designed for Steel Gunner, or insert your game here. That's a different way that they do that. They deliver you a game experience that can be optimized, that can really recreate your arcade experience. Plus column, right? If maybe you're not interested in a console that downloads games because you already got one. It's in the living room. It's in the family room. You already got it. You don't need another one. Damn. But I've got like these, man, I'm sitting here, I'm scratching my chin. What you do when you're thoughtful. You just sort of opine. It's like, you know what? I got this game. Whatever, pick your game. Insert your game. Alien versus Predator for me, whatever. If you've got 1, maybe 5 games, you know what? I would love to have these 5 games. I would love to have an arcade game of these 5 games in my house. That would just make my man cave, my den, my whatever. That would just set it off. I would love that. That would bring back my childhood. That's where I'm at. So if you've only got that list of 5 games or 4 games or whatever it is, if Arcade1up could bring those to you, you'd be all in for those 4 games or 5 games or whatever it is. And you'd be happy with that and you're good. And that's it. And you don't want any more or need any more. So it's another different way, In that list of 4 or 5 games could be very, very specific controls. We're talking about, the yoke for Star Wars. If that's one of your, it's going to be tough for Arcade1 or iiRcade to do that. They can't do that. They just got, at least for now, they've got the 2-player control scheme. That's all they have. That's where they're at. So they're limited. Arcade1up has the ability to custom tailor make that game and that gameplay experience unique. It doesn't always come through. They don't always deliver. Some could even say that there is some potential that they're not realizing. So there is that. Crapcades? I like where you're going with that. You're going to have to be a little more specific which one you're applying that to. iiRcade does have, they do have a bowling game already. It's horrible. Well, that's not good. That's not good at all. But at least it's a bowling game, right? And there you go. So right off the bat, maybe I have a reason to buy the trackball. If the game was not, as you say, horrible, you might want to actually get the trackball. But so there's once again some of the flexibility. So which one do you prefer? I think what you're going to prefer now could change as we look at, sort of like that potential being realized. And we talk about, I think the mood, I'm going to just speak for me. I'm not speaking for nobody else. I'm speaking for me. The momentum has sort of shifted in the way that, wow, look at what iiRcade with their gold cabinet. Look at what they're doing. Ooh, it's neat. I think interest was waning for a while, kind of going this way, and then it peaked. And what? They're doing something different. They're making some changes. Oh, cool. All right. Oh, they're doing that. Okay. Aesthetic changes, hardware changes. Okay. Let's see what this is all about. But if it just turns out to be, lackluster titles, it's going to go back down. It's going to go back down. And they're going to need to do something to bring it back up. And I think if it does start to wane and go back down, the only thing that's going to bring it back up at this point is going to be software. It's going to be titles. It's going to be bringing home something big. Shredder's Revenge. Something that's going to set it apart from Arcade1up. What if? Listen. Come on, bring it in. This is serious. I'm messing around. This is serious. This is the real freaking deal. All right, we're not playing around here. This is real. We talk about iiRcade and their ability to run Dreamcast games. We look at this list here. What's the one game that everybody's just freaking out about? Time Crisis is cool. NFL Blitz is cool. But what's the one that everybody is scrutinizing? Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom II. Everybody wants to be Marvel vs. Capcom 2. If iiRcade can run Dreamcast, I'm just saying. Now, I'm sure they've probably already asked this question. I'm sure they've already tried to get that license. Everybody's trying to get that license, right? But if there's ever something to leverage, that would be it, right? That would be it. So I don't know what you got to do, but you need to do it. Because we've had questions in the past of Arcade1up being able to run something, right? Killer Instinct. Everybody said no. They pulled it off for the most part, is what I'm hearing from others. I don't have that cabinet yet. I'm going to get that cabinet. I'm just right now. I'm just being stubborn. I just want it to be on sale. I want to pay full price for it. Whatever. Is what it is, right? It's my weird stance, but I'm doing that. So yeah, Arcade1up can do it. Possibly, maybe they got to lock down that license. That's the main thing, right? But you and I are still going to have those questions. Are they going to be able to do it? Are they going to run Marvel vs. Capcom 2 the way it needs to run? Is it going to be smooth? When it comes to iArcade, I don't think we have that question in our minds. If we're talking about Dreamcast level, well, we know they made a superior port to the Dreamcast. So even if it's the Dreamcast version, the Dreamcast ROM, are you going to care? I'm not going to care. Because if you looked at Dreamcast, the price of that game lately, that's about a third of the cost of the iArcade. So all of a sudden, if you can do something like that, it starts to make not just, nerd sense, like we're finally getting the game we want. It starts to make financial sense. And that's saying something. That is saying something for sure. Where did I leave this off? Given to you. I pay for my games. Do you get them for free? No, I do not. If I said given to you, I misspoke. I'm not trying to insinuate that games are given to you. Sorry, I meant Steel Gunner as an added game to Time Cry. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, that would be great. I mean, I think that Arcade1up is kind of, we've talked about this at length, and I talked about the market saturation when it comes to form factors and the fact that there's 14 different form factors because there's 7 games, new games this year, 7. I'm not interested in all 7. Not really. I'm interested in I'm interested in, well, I have 2 currently of the 7 that are supposed to be released this year. If I get Killer Instinct, that'll be 3. I'll probably get 5 total. It's good for my wallet. I don't want to buy a ton. I don't need to buy 12. I don't need to buy 1 every month. But, then they got the recycled stuff. So, I think they need to do something to add some variety. Steel Gunner, maybe not, they don't get their own cabinet, but they do something to justify that purchase of that shooter, which we got to have a shooter. We need to have shooters. We need to have drivers. We need to have a little more variety than just fighters and beat 'em ups. Unless we're talking about Alien versus Predator, then all bets are off. Then that is number 1. That's what you do. That's what you go for. Yes, I'm biased, and I make my biases known completely. Bobby Broadway, what's up? I wonder if he drives his coworkers crazy who hates games with all this day. I love you, Nancy Gay. No, because I keep it to myself. Because you and I both know not everybody is into the stuff we're into. And that's why I got people in the chat that are passionate. And we have people in other chats and other shows that are passionate. Because not everybody is as into this stuff as you and I are. So, you read the room. And if nobody's interested, we don't talk about it. I talk about other stuff. But yeah, you got to read the room. And most people aren't that into this stuff that we're into. They are, I will say this, normies, when I tell them about what I'm into and what I do, they're kind of shocked that, they don't really know about home arcades as far as these 3/4 scales. They're not really familiar. So I will say it does kind of pique some of their interest, but they don't get into it like we do. Ah, here we are. Terry B says Arcade1up crapcades, toiletcades. I don't think they're going to go with that. If they go with that name, it's probably not a good thing. That's really not a good thing at all. Shouldn't do that. No. Yeah, if you could smash the like button, really would appreciate it, guys. Smash the like button. Leave a comment if you would be so inclined. I really appreciate it. Even if you're watching us on the replay, comment and let me know what you think about this philosophical question of Arcade1up versus iArcade. MVC2 baby, absolutely. The one people are freaking out about is actually Pac-Man because they are sick of it. Fair point. EVO, baby. EVO. Let's go. Blitz will be scrutinized, as it should, Nooner, as it should. It should absolutely be scrutinized. Because that's, especially if you're talking about a cab that Listen, if that's the only game on the cab, it's fair game. T2 didn't really live up to its arcade roots in some ways. I forgave it because it was the only way I was going to really be able to get that and to have that experience, that arcade experience, in that way. Because B won't give me any of his light guns, so I can't just put it on my PC. And I've asked him, and he says no. Just kidding, it didn't happen. Just kidding, B. Just kidding. House of Dead, please. Exactly. Where's that House of the Dead cabinet? We've been seeing these leaks for these mocked up cabinets. Come on. Damn. An hour late. It's okay. You're right on time. Yo, is this even a question? VC's like, come on, man. Why are you messing around? Why are you playing? I think it's a legitimate question. You know, it may seem lopsided now, but give it 6 months. Holiday season this year, I'm interested to see where we're at. I think we could be in a different place. Just because I went up to the offices at iiRcade doesn't mean I know everything. And just because I say something doesn't mean somebody told me. But I think that holiday season this year, we could be in a different place. As far as, is this such an easy answer? I don't know that it will be. Too stupid is, finally, I can talk. Yes, you can talk. Was I limiting you? I hope I wasn't. All you gotta do is to be a subscriber for 5 minutes. Okay, so I just bought the Star Wars pinball. Was on sale for $420. That is a good deal. They missed the mark though. It should have been like a marijuana tie-in. $420. I don't know. Just me. VC. I cast my vote. All kinds of late. It's okay. All kinds of late. LOL. No, you good. You good, bro. Also ordered Ridge Racer and that Marvel vs. Capcom head-to-head. Now you're talking. There you go. Look at they got you, didn't they? They got their hooks in you. They brought you in. It's okay. Welcome to the club. You're welcome here. We're all suffering from this disease. That list you showed. Can you show it again? Yes. If we're talking about the future, what's coming up this year? These are leaks. These were part of the GameFly leaks. This is a leaked / rumored schedule of cabinets coming out. So I kind of broke this down on stuff that I have, stuff that I don't have, stuff that I don't care. But this is the first part of that list. We're obviously into the 5th month, so some of the stuff has already come out. We know about it. The stuff in blue here, I'm interested in getting. I'm probably just going to get the Pac-Man, though. Shocker, I know. Centipede, probably not. I don't know. I think I go back and forth about these two legacies. But so you have that list there, right? That's the first. That's the second quarter, I think, going into the third quarter. And then here's the remainder of the year. Let me go ahead and take your comment off so you can see the whole list. This is kind of where we're at. You're looking at that 30th anniversary legacy, rumored to come out July 15th, 500. These are, supposed price points. And then, like I said, everything in blue is something I'm interested in or highlighted. I'm not interested in Shack Jam. Why the hell is that in blue? But anyway, you see that going on. $6.99 was the correct price, but not the correct date. So this is all needs to be taken with a grain of salt. The rumored Street Fighter 2 Championship Turbo Legacy, the new Legacy coming out. Maybe. But the big three, in my opinion, are at the bottom. The big shockers. So that's kind of where we're at when it comes to that. Arcade. No, they're not going to. Why would they say that? They wouldn't do that. That's just like saying, here, piss on it. Chrissy, they are usually like, that's a thing. Yes, they are. What is going on? I got a $20 super chat from Maximum Low Blow. He takes his low blows to the max. $20 super chat saying I'd pay top dollar for a Tekken compilation cabinet. I know Tekken got really advanced with future arcade releases, but I'd hope they'd at least include 1, 2, 3, and tag 1. I'd be into that. I would definitely buy that cab. I think you got to go 16x9 for some of those later versions, but you can probably, especially with 1, 2, and 3, you can definitely stick with the 4x3 and you'd be good to go. Maybe do a 19-inch monitor, but do it the right way. Maybe give our iiRcade a call and say, hey, you know that monitor you guys use? Real quick, let me, while I got you, what are your settings? Brightness, contrast, voltage you're feeding the monitor, things like that. Give us a superior experience. Yeah, Tekken compilation. I'd be down with that. Virtua Fighter. Even bring back some stuff like Fighting Vipers. It really didn't. It was on Saturn, but yeah, it could be quirky. Those quirky 3D fighters were great, man. That was another sliver in time. That was a lot of fun. And so that some of that stuff you could definitely bring back. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Man, don't know what I did to deserve that, but I'm glad you stopped by. And look out. Here comes Ryu. At 19K Fox from Codex. Why are people not talking about At Games Legends Ultimate anymore? I think because there's not much new. I think it is what it is. I picked up a mini for $50. I like it. It's fine. I think because they're not doing something new is the only reason we're not talking about it anymore. I think it just sort of it is what it is. I don't know. I'm not saying that it's dipped down for some reason. I think it's sort of plateaued. So there's not much to talk about that's new. I wouldn't take that as a negative criticism of the At Games product. I think it's just like, it's still there. It's saying, hey guys, I'm here too. And they're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. So like I said, not necessarily a negative, but just, I think there's just nothing much to say as far as new, was doing differently. No new hacks, I think, that I'm aware of that really blows it up. Thanks, P. I appreciate it. Pat Hogan says, I bet most people who voted Arcade1up have never, ever played an iiRcade. It's possible. It's possible. Vice versa could be said for people that voted for iiRcade. But it's probably more likely that someone didn't play iiRcade because there's just not that many out there. So you're probably right. Probably right. But they're still allowed to make their informed decision because we're also kind of stepping back, right? And we're saying, okay, looking at the delivery method of the software, sorry about that, looking at the hardware itself, just looking at it, not owning it, but just sort of looking back, like I did in my video a while back, talking about the reason why I wasn't interested in that Gen 1 cabinet, but some of those things changed when it came to the Gold Edition. They can still make their own informed decision and sort of decide for themselves which one do they prefer. It's not a prerequisite to make that judgment call, but it's probably a good idea if you want to make a really informed decision, at least to play one. Grovey Gaming Garage, what's going on? G, Triple G, what the hell is going on, man? What a fucks. I've been playing Golden TXL cab nonstop the last few holes. I'm convinced I'm the greatest GT player on the planet. LOL. Take the LOL and remove it, you just might be the greatest of all time. Okay. So two stupid idiots. Not just, come on, you're selling yourself short, man. Come on. I got like 12 cabinets now. Wow. Well, it's an addiction. That's how they get you. And I just got the 3 new ones. I want 32 32/64-bit games. So hype. Yes, absolutely. I think we're waiting for them to break into that next level. It's going to require they're going to have to up their game. Their PCBs they've really got to go up for sure. Bones McCoy says nobody in here legitimately cares about iiRcade. They just like the fantasy alternative to the Arcade1up product that they actually buy. Ooh, shots fired. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a iiRcade fan. Obviously. Vassell says, my legacies will all get upgraded due to online caps. Really? Capability, I think is what, yeah. That's what I got rid of mine. I got rid of my Pac-Man and my my Midway. Back when they first announced these at CES. Knowing full well it was going to take some time for those to come in, but I wanted to sell them for the most amount of money I could, the secondary market, and I did. I got, I think, $350 for each, so it's okay. But yeah, that's kind of what's going to happen with your legacies, I think. Now with this next iteration of legacies, I don't know if they're going to be able to improve them that much. But you never know. Other than adding more games, I'm not sure what other features they could add. They could do like a shooters, no, I'm thinking that like a driving legacy where it's all driving games, but you'd have different publishers. That wouldn't work. Yeah, it wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Scratch that. Moving on. How you think they will do Time Crisis? They've got to do it right, and I think they definitely learned with Killer Instinct. I hope that wasn't just a one-off where they knew the fan outrage would be severe if they mess that up. I hope they treat all these franchises with the same amount of care to do it right. So I'm hopeful. What really makes me hopeful is that high price tag, that $800, tells me that the hardware is going to be what's necessary, as well as the software. The game's going to run the way it should, and they're going to make the investments in the PCB, as well as the play mechanic, the pedal, maybe a wider screen to simulate the two separate screens. I don't think that they'll do two separate screens, but I think they'll do maybe one, elongated monitor maybe to simulate the two. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think they'll do it well. I hope, knock on wood, they'll do it well, but who knows? Shack Jam. No, thank you. I'm with you. I have yet to connect to an online game on iiRcade. Could be the games that you have, you don't see the value. I'll say this: when it came to Arcade1up doing their online stuff, wow, it was a loud S. At first, I didn't care. I was like, whatever, that's fine. But then when you have leaderboards, I think even if they just do leaderboards, it does make a difference. It adds a competitiveness to it, especially when you don't have a bunch of people locally. Maybe not a lot of friends that are into your arcade stuff that you're doing. But like I told this story before, so I got my golden tee. I'm having fun. I got it when it first came out. Not a lot of people had that, but this guy called P-Dubs, he had it. And we start going back and forth on our little chat, talking about like who's got the best score. And I'm taking pictures, like, boom, check it out. And he's like, sorry, Fox, just beat you by 10. I'm like, damn it. So I got it. So we start going back and forth. That was another reason to play, trying to one up each other. And it was fun. It was kind of like we were playing with each other, even though we weren't actually playing with each other. We were just trying to set a higher score than the other one. So it did add a little bit of replay value to the cabinet. So leaderboards make a difference. When it comes to fighters, at first they're really hot. Arcade1up is an example. At first they're really hot, and then now the lobbies are drying up. They're drying up. So that's where leaderboards comes in. Leaderboards becomes a little more significant because you don't have to necessarily have somebody in a lobby ready to go when you are. You're just trying to set a higher score. But I get what you're saying. Not everybody values online connectivity as much as the other one does. Yes, absolutely. Colonel Clinks 87. Yes, I'm really curious about it. I'm curious to see what they're going to do. That $800 price point, the most expensive upright cabinet they've come out with, they've introduced yet. Really the only thing that's beaten it is the Infinity Game Table. Even that increased price of the pinball machines was only $750. So I'm curious to see what they're doing there. I really don't think it's going to be dual screens like we saw in the arcade. I think it's going to be probably maybe a 24-inch out of those pinball machines turned sideways maybe, and then split. That would make more sense. I think the cost of two Monitors is going to be too much. 2 separate drivers and all that. One PCB connecting to 2 screens. I don't know. They haven't done that yet. They've had split screen, and we've already seen that with their 17-inch monitors they're using in their cocktail cabinets. So they can definitely use that when it comes to an upright shooter. We've already seen that. So split screen, but instead of opposing images, they're next to each other. So they can do that. Remember when we started the year bitching about price increases? Yeah. You see how easy that scab sort of healed up, and we're just kind of used to it. The scar tissue is there, and we're just dealing with it. The calluses, for lack of a better term. Jay Wills Thrills, Mortal Kombat swivel stool means pro version coming. You have to assume you're going to have Mortal Kombat Pro, Street Fighter Pro. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the big names. If you're getting Killer Instinct Pro, you know what I'm saying? I can't imagine your arcade staples. And yes, we're probably going to get a Pac-Man Pro Series. Just a matter of time. Let me scroll down. Stop calling your arcade dumb or tiny. It's not. Well, maybe tiny. He means PC or Pi. That's what he means. Matt Manson, what's going on? Dry up because of Arcade1up high prices. Yes. Increased price, bigger monitor, pedals, and guns, I think. I hope so. Better guns, solid pedals, We've seen that already with some of their the racing cabinets. The pedals aren't that solid, but you know what I mean. It'd be nice to see them up that quality. We're willing to pay the price as long as we see it. We see the value. But no washed out 19-inch monitors. No. Donuts says, how many Gen 1 Arcade1ups are or will be modded already? Well, hell, I've done just 2 Gen 1s. Gen 3, I've got 2. Two of each, I guess. 2 Gen 3s and 2 Gen 1s is what I've modded. But then I jumped into I left most of my Gen 3 stock, so let's hope. Yes, indeed. Triple G says iiRcade are like John Cena because you can't see them. Arcade1ups, on the other hand, are everywhere and more for the common gamer. iiRcade is more of an extreme retro/multicade guy. That's fair. I think that's fair. That's a fair thing to say. More of a niche thing, more of a multicade. Arcade1ups are at Walmart. You can see them. You can walk up to them and play them. Rainwater says iiRcade Online is still in its infancy. It's barely functional right now, but they are just scratching the surface on how the functionality will eventually work. Baby steps. Yes. But some people are getting discouraged. Potential realized has to eventually be realized. So while I agree it's definitely there, I know it's in its infancy and all that, but I think people, they get a little frustrated. But I've heard others say this. This is not me saying this. I'm not the first one to say it, but I'm going to say it now, is that they took a different path. iiRcade did. They started with the quality. They started with building this thing, this badass, robust system up front in hopes that the games would come. So let's hope the games come. Donut says there are a ton of Gen 1s already on Craigslist. Yes, Gen 1s. Are we talking about Gen 1? Donuts, you're talking about you said iiRcade, right? Or you said one-ups. Yeah, one-ups. Yeah. Gen 1 one-ups are out there a lot. I'm waiting for the Gen 3s to kind of flood the market too, but I think they have not had replacements yet. That's the thing about the majority of those, well, maybe even all of those Gen 1s. They've either had a legit replacement. Street Fighter had Big Blue. Mortal Kombat had the Legacy. And then the other cabinets, like, that had their own, you had Rampage, you had Final Fight. They made their way to other Legacy cabinets. So while they didn't get their own legit successor, those games made their way to other cabinets. So the Gen 1s, yeah, I mean, everybody sold those for the most part. But the Gen 3s, they have not been replaced yet, except when you're talking about legacies that are coming. And those of us that are in the know that new legacies are coming. So that's why you may see a lot of legacies out there. But I'm talking about Gen 3. I'm talking Star Wars. Most people aren't going to sell that. If they do, it's going to be expensive. Marvel versus Capcoms. X-Men versus, I see X-Men versus Street Fighters. Not a lot of MVCs out there for sale in my area. But check your local listings. It is tiny and dumb because I have a 40 square foot space with dumb projects that I can't seem to get finished. They're not dumb. They're worth your time. They give you something to focus on. They enhance. They're your creative outlet. So while it may be tiny at 40 square feet, they're not dumb. But I mean, if you say they're dumb, they're dumb. I'm just trying to be positive. Cyber Seals 2077. What's going on, man? Gonna get that Marvel versus Capcom. The Mortal Kombat Legacy online. It'll be fun to play people. And I modded the original OG Mortal Kombat 2 into a Ghost Buster arcade with the Intec Nintendo Switch board. Awesome. It's funny you did that. I modded my Gen 1 OG Mortal Kombat 2. I modded it with the Sega Genesis Intec gaming, the control panel. That video is coming soon. It's coming soon. Trust me, they're dumb. I can't believe you would say that. But unfortunately, I gotta say this.
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Well, your projects are only dumb in your heart and in your own mind. I guess that's up to you. Looking at, once again, we got this form factor, this way of bringing things out to us and rolling things out. You're looking at $500 legacies, your standards, your premiums. You got this convoluted layout of 3/4 scale cabinets. Then you've got iiRcade coming out with one device, one cabinet. It is a different tactic. Which one do you prefer? Let's take a look at the poll. And with 156 votes, thank you so much for stopping by and voting on this. You know what? It's not as much of a blowout as some of you may have thought. I've been peeking at it as I'm talking, going back and forth. It fluctuated, but it is going to settle. I'm going to end the poll right now. 60% say Arcade1up, 40% say iiRcade. So it's maybe not quite as lopsided, as clear cut as some of you may have originally thought. Interesting, though. I hope everybody kind of was able to look at this maybe a little bit. If you could step back and look at some of this stuff objectively. We all have our biases. Lean towards Arcade1up, lean towards iiRcade. I'm definitely an Arcade1up guy, but I've got my order in for my iiRcade Gold. Curious to see how that changes my opinion. But yeah, it's cool to sit back and think about it and look forward to what these companies are going to do moving forward and which one we kind of prefer. But I mean, listen, if you've got the financial means, you're blessed that you can kind of have it both ways. Sample both companies and see which one works best for you. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. A late night stream. Look to the channel tomorrow, maybe the next day. Gonna get that arcade/console room tour done for you, so you can check it out and you can give me your critiques. Let me know what you think about it. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your week. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Peace.